Hello, my friend Jasper. How are you?
Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm fine, very well. I love the way you smile, always full of energy. Yeah?
I am one of the youngest international trainers of the Society of NLP, and I'm mainly in the Netherlands. In Amsterdam, I work a lot with young professionals. So that would be, for instance, in my practitioner course now, I think the average age would be around 32, something like that. And they're all really ambitious people, and this is what I like to work with. So I really like to give people the step up in a professional sense.
Education you can get from anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
Knowledge you cannot get.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
have the knowledge how to build the best car in the world, and the best
yeah,
we did at that time,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, definitely. And nowadays, I think that's really true what you're saying, because nowadays anyone has Google at the tips of their fingers,
Yeah.
so they can get all information at the tips of their fingers. But not being ignorant also means is that you don't just be a sponge to all the information that is out there, but you actually learn to understand what information is valuable and what isn't. Because if you start reading on the internet and just believing everything, you'll probably be far away from getting somewhere. Because there's a lot of stuff on the internet also that's not true. I think it's good to be a bit critical of who you're learning from, because you can just Google what NLP is on Wikipedia, but I think you won't have as much and as much of a depth of understanding as if you spend a week with you, for instance. You're very knowledgeable on NLP, or with any of the other trainers that are well taught in NLP. Yeah.
What made you start this at such an early age, where children are mostly fascinated with the cartoons and probably going out and playing squash or
Yeah.
stuff like that? So what,
Yeah.
and number one, and number two, second part of the same question is, uh, how did your family take it that instead of studying regular class school, you have been doing
Right.
all this crazy work which at that time people
Well,
were not even aware of that much?
what helps there is something that Richard also taught, that when he was starting out, he also worked with some young guys in school, and he sometimes still tells this story. And what he used to tell them, like if these kids were like, I don't want to go to school and those types of things, he would tell them, like, if you are so smart and so cool as you pretend to be, at least be smart enough to fool your teachers into giving you high grades. And this is something that I completely went for. So I did actually go to university. So I did go to school. I did do all those things. And at the same time, when I was doing it, I was optimizing. So I did the Alfredo-Pareto principle, the 80-20. So I made sure that I did, like, within 20% of the effort, I got 80% of the grades. So I got university with 6s and 7s in a scale to 10, but never like 8s or 9s, because I used the time that I had left to study NLP at the same time. But my parents, I guess, they only understood fully what I was doing because I've been an entrepreneur for longer. Also, I've had a lot of ventures, which is good. You can go in light speed also when you push yourself to do the stuff you don't know yet. And I've always pushed myself to do that. But I think my mother only got this idea, I guess, 5 years ago or something, when I was reading a book of Richard Branson, and I was just reading it there, and it was laying about, and she picked it up and started reading a few pages. And did you read it also?
Yeah,
The biography?
Virgin King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you start reading those books, it's really it's enticing when you start reading a few pages. So she said, like, can I hang on to this book? So I said, yeah, I'll finish it first, and then I'll give it back to you. And she read it cover to cover, I think within a week or something, and she called me up and she said, wow, I finally understand what you're doing.
We all tend to live in our own cocoons. We
Yeah,
don't want to take decisions, and then we want to say, oh, it's God, oh, it's my luck.
yeah.
We love to
You
blame.
push responsibility to other people.
Exactly,
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly. Interesting thing is, Jasper, that I I read this in Napoleon Hill. I've read this in Richard. I've read this in a lot of books from a lot of
Hmm.
authors. Even Napoleon's mentor, the famous Andrew Carnegie.
Andrew. Yeah,
Yeah, they
I got
all.
that one. I got it down there. Andrew Carnegie's biography.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all these guys have said this, that people who have been successful or people who
Mm.
have achieved something are the ones who take control of their own destiny, okay, of their
Yeah.
own decision making, who of
Yeah.
their responsibility of their own actions. Whenever you have that, equilibrium. Every
Yeah.
moment of your life which you are enjoying and being happy about, within
Yeah.
that equilibrium is the moment of your success, and that is how you define your own success.
Well, and it might be, if it's okay if I compliment you on that, because I think that what I see in working with you, I mean, we met in Orlando at Richard Bandler, that what I see is a lot of people that do the stuff that you do, they only know a lot. So they did a lot of courses and they have a lot of information in their head. But what I like in you is that you also apply it. So I can see that you don't only, and this is why I like these chats with you, is that you apply the stuff that you know. And compliments to you. I like to see that. So yeah.
Thank you very much. I can now sit like that.
Now you can change your body language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I strongly believe, with all the the philanthropist work I'm doing, and with all these other techniques that I'm using, I strongly believe that it is people like you and me who have to bring change. Because as you said, having knowledge,
Yeah.
education is one thing, knowledge
Yeah.
is second, but
And for
applying
the
it.
person watching and listening this, it's also a person like you. So it's not just the two of us. I mean,
Exactly.
it's people like you
Like
who are
you.
listening to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you, each one of you, I would say, put it
Yeah.
like that, each one of you has to take your own responsibility. And
Definitely.
I strongly believe, practice, preach that
Yeah.
the only person I want you to change is you.
Yeah.
We all have our own experiences. We all deserve to write our autobiographies.
A lot of people think that what success looks like is like this,
Yeah.
right? So you start there and then you go there, and maybe you already know what this looks like. But then people say like, what success actually looks like is like that. What would be your most important piece of information and knowledge for a young person, so around 30, that just started out their career and is now thinking like, how am I going to build this into a life that I want to live? What would be your piece of information or your piece of knowledge for them?
Jasper, I wish I could give the answer which people would like to listen and love to listen, but I will tell them what I have done. And
Right.
my honest opinion, my all throughout my life, what I have done, I've learned when I started my career. I'll tell you an interesting story. When I started my engineering degree, I was able, because we have rankings within the engineering university, that electrical engineering was the highest rank, then civil, then mechanical. So students were going to different levels, not based on their interest, but based
Yeah.
on their rank. I
Yeah.
had the rank to go to electrical, but I chose to go number 3, which was mechanical. That was my choice, my passion, right? When we moved from there, I went into the oil and gas field. The day, and I'm saying it bluntly, the day I realized I have lost my passion, I resigned. I preach this and I've practiced this. So
So
my
what is important about that? Because I think there's a lot important in that. The day you decided, you resigned. What is important about that?
follow your passion and take a decision. Do not hesitate. So my sincere advice to all those people, is follow your passion. Simple.
Yeah.
Money will follow you.
Yeah.
If you follow your passion, money will follow you. It's a secondary
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much once again,
Thank you,
and see
friend.
you later, Insha.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.